About the verse spoken by the two angels who question the dead, Allah the Exalted says, Allah makes firm those who believe with the firm word in the life of this world and in the next. Allah leads the wrongdoers astray, and Allah does whatever He wills. Quran verse 27, chapter 14. The meaning and truth of death. Every soul will taste death. Quran verse 185, chapter 3. What is death? Is it total extinction, or is it the separation of the soul from the body? When they part, what becomes of each? What becomes of the human being, the owner of this temporary body and enduring soul? Does awareness end when the body dies, or does awareness continue in the soul that endures? Do the dead feel joy and pain as the living do? Can the awareness of a living person whose soul is confined within the body be compared to the awareness of one who has died, whose soul has been released? The answer is no. Both the living and the dead are aware, but their awareness is not the same. Death is not annihilation. It is a passage from one world to another. When a person experiences bliss or punishment in the grave, it does not mean he is alive there in the worldly sense, needing food and clothing. Nor does it mean the soul fills the body as it did in life. The soul returns to the body in a way unlike this world, sufficient for questioning and trial in the grave. We can glimpse this by comparing death to sleep, the lesser death, though the two are not identical. In sleep, the soul extends away from the body and reaches the presence of the Lord of the throne. If the sleeper is in a state of purity, the soul prostrates before the Creator. It may encounter the world of dreams or meet the souls of those who have died. In reality, it is shown a page from Allah's knowledge of the unseen, the good or the trial written for that person. If the sleeper is truthful, generous, pure, and avoids foolishness while awake, then when the soul returns, it conveys to the heart the truth of what Allah, mighty and majestic, allowed it to witness. This is a truthful dream. In sleep, the soul may also move across the earth, meet souls of the living, and gain knowledge, some true, some false. The false part is mere dream chatter of the self. If the sleeper is a liar, inclined to falsehood, the soul still rises and moves freely, encountering truths. But as it returns, Satan interferes and mixes true with false, just as he does when a person is awake. The sleeper wakes confused, recalling the distortion rather than what Allah allowed him to see. Those are confused dreams. Allah the Exalted says, Allah takes the souls at the time of their death, and those that have not died in their sleep. He withholds those for whom He has decreed death, and releases the others for a set term. Quran verse 42, chapter 39. In sleep, the soul does not fully leave the body as it does at death. It remains connected, like a beam or thread whose end stays fastened to the body, extending and returning. Think of the sun. Its orb is in the sky, while its rays reach the earth. The comparison is not exact, but it helps explain. At death, the body remains in the earth while the soul resides in the interval between this world and the next, an intermediate realm between death and resurrection. The bliss or punishment there is not identical to that of the final abode. It occurs between the two. Though the soul is in this interspace and the body is in the ground, they remain connected so that bliss or punishment reaches both. We compared this to sleep, but with a difference. In sleep, the soul is based in the body and extends outward, so the sleeper tastes happiness or distress in dreams. In death, the soul is based in the interspace, not in the body. When Allah wills bliss or punishment for the soul, He connects it to the body. The soul may be in the heavens and yet look upon and be linked to the body in the earth, present in more than one place in a way suited to that realm. The messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, saw Moses, peace be upon him, on the night journey, standing in prayer in his grave, and also saw him in the higher heavens, both true in their own manner. Sometimes bliss or punishment reaches both body and soul together. At other times, only the soul experiences it. The dead may lose awareness for a time, then resume tasting what is written, according to the will of Allah the Great, and according to a person's deeds. One man of earlier times thought he could escape the trial of the grave by having his body burned to ashes, then scattering some in the sea and some on land on a windy day. He told his children to do this. Allah commanded the sea and the land to gather his remains and said, "Rise." The man stood before his Lord. He was asked, "What made you do what you did?" He replied, "I feared you, my Lord, but you know best." Because of that fear, Allah forgave him. Such measures cannot prevent the bliss or punishment of the grave from reaching parts that no longer exist. If a righteous person were buried inside a blazing furnace, his portion of bliss would reach both soul and body, and Allah would make the fire coolness and safety for him. For the wrongdoer, even cool air becomes fire and scorching wind. The elements and all created things obey their originator. He commands and they respond. None can do anything except by His will. All submit to His decree in humble obedience.